Hey, Paul. Good
How
to
you
see
doing?
you. I guess we'll rip the injury Band-Aid off right away.
Yep.
Just how are you feeling? What has this off season been like as far as recovery process, and how soon do you think you will be back on the court, either in a practice setting or a game type setting?
Yeah. First, good morning, everybody. I think I'm getting better and better. Feeling stronger and stronger. Hopefully, this next couple of weeks is very important, leading into the season, the start of the season, the opening night, all of that stuff. All I can do is just focus on doing that day after day, taking it one day at a time. I do, think I will be at a good place, hopefully earlier than sooner or than later. But just as far as my body, I do feel better. I do feel good, a lot better than I did last year, which is saying a lot because, I was dealing with a lot last year, trying to play through a lot of stuff, which I just couldn't get over the hump. So it is great to be in a better place to go into the season.
Hey, Paul. How you doing, first of all? Secondly, obviously last season is what it is. Injuries, stuff you weren't able to really control. How much of last season do you really kind of look at as motivation and be like, hey, we can't have another season like last year, again, going into this year?
Yeah. Last year was tough, one of the toughest seasons I've been a part of, not just from a team standpoint, but just from a personal standpoint. But, again, I'm from a motivational standpoint, it can't get no worse than last year, right? That was a rock bottom kind of season. I think it was a disappointment personally for myself. And obviously from the fans here. But I do think it's a lot to look forward to. We've been leaning on one another. We've been, I've been here for about 2-3 weeks now, been in the gym every day, been in the weight room every day. And you look around and it's 12, 13, 14 other guys here as well, 3 weeks before the season started. So I think that alone stands out to guys are committed to getting better. We're hungry. And guys look good. I've watched the work that they've all put in. So, the motivation is there. We're just hanging on one another, man. We are excited of what's to come. But we're definitely, taking it one day at a time of just stacking good days.
Hey, Paul. Right here in the middle. You mentioned just playing through a lot last year. I mean, you were even getting injections at one point to be able to go. Have you reconsidered your approach at all as far as when you'll try to grind it out and when you'll maybe be a little more cautious moving forward?
Yeah. I'm not a doctor. But, I think just trusting my body, trusting the process going into this season. The team is allowing me to kind of be as 100 as possible. Because, that's what I signed up for. That's what they signed me for, is to come in and be the Paul George that they went out and recruited last summer. And so for me to do that, I do got to be healthy. And, that's really it. Again, I'm putting the work in. I'm putting the time in. I'm seeing the progress. I'm feeling more and more like myself each day. And that's the most important thing as the dates are winding down, getting into the season to start. So I like where I'm at. I like, how we've progressed things. And that's the only way I can look at it right now.
Over here. This team obviously has quite a bit of young talent as well now. I'm just curious sort of what you feel your role is as far as helping, whether it's guys like Jared or this new rookie class, the younger pieces on this team, like what you can do to help their development, whether that's on the court or off the court.
Yeah, I think just continue to be a leader. I think this year is a better role for me coming into this. I know the situation. I know where I'm needed at. I know, I'm comfortable within the locker room, within the coaching staff, the front office. and what role I can play as a veteran and a leader and developing our young guys and getting them as prepared as possible. I've, been able to kind of talk, and again, I've been here for 3 weeks. VJ's been in here every day. Jared's been in here every day. JB's been in here every day. So I've been around those guys. I've seen their work. I've seen, how them, getting better on a daily basis and just giving teaching points here and there. Justin as well, been in here every day. So, I had a great convo with Nick 2 days ago on, just teaching the trades, the trick of the trades that I've been taught and through experiences in games of what I've learned and picked up. And, he's counting on me. He's relying on me to kind of help the young guys, whether it's working on how to get open or defensive concepts or, just being in the right places. He's counting on me to kind of be another voice to kind of help the young guys. So, that means a lot to me for Coach to have that trust in me to kind of help the young guys out.
Hey, Paul, over here. I was going to ask a similar question, so it's kind of a follow-up. Last year you came, basically the idea was to be, I think it was fair to say, sort of the final piece on a championship contender. Mm-hmm. You're talking about the role here sort of, I guess, do you see your role more as veteran mentors, kind of what it sound like, as opposed to that? Is there a way to do both? I guess, how are you kind of approaching the season?
I think it's everything. Again, getting healthy. The Paul George that the 76ers went out and signed. I do think I still got a lot of game in me. Playing at a high level, like that's still who I am. I got to get healthy to get to that point, but I'm not. I won't be. I don't think a part of camp going into it, but I do have a voice in being a part of the team to help the young guys and kind of touch that point early on into the season to start out. So I guess to your question is being both. I plan on being both.
Paul, you kind of already touched on it, but just last year was pretty chaotic, recruiting and then moving your family cross country, all that. Mm-hmm. I guess just is there more of a comfortability in general here for you, being settled in and knowing what's asked of you?
Yeah, absolutely. Last year was just a lot in limbo, and the decision to come to Philadelphia was kind of late. No excuses to none of it, but it is nice to kind of know what we're doing. Kids are taken care of. We know what school they're going to be at. We know what area we're going to live in. We know what house that we're going to stay at. So kind of all of that stuff is taken care of going into a season. So to kind of start off with, kind of know things pulling me in different directions is a great start to the season. And again, having a year under my belt, building relationships here with the guys, still the same coaching core for the most part, roster core for the most part. So, just another year of us being together, of us talking, of us hanging out, I think will definitely be more beneficial.
Paul, kind of along those same lines, injury is obviously the biggest problem last year, but for you, how challenging was finding a way to fit in with this group, and do you feel more prepared for that going into this season?
Yeah, I definitely feel more prepared going into it this season. Again, talking with Nick, better understanding of the fit, the role. But, again, last year was just challenging. It was just challenging trying to, play at 80-85% the whole time while still learning a new system, new offense, new players, coached differently. It was rough. It was a tough year. But I think, again, going into this season, the understanding of where I'm at, what to expect, and, it's just, with anything, over time you'll get better. You'll understand. You'll develop the style of where you're at. I do think I'm off to a better start going into this year.
What's up, Paul? You said you don't think you'll be a part of the start of training camp. What are you able to do at this particular time?
I'm pretty much everything but full contact. I'm in the weight room. I'm lifting, working out every day. I'm on the court. Not ready to start the full ramp up of conditioning on court with running and stuff like that. But I'm on the court. I'm working out. I'm doing stationary drills. 1 or 2 dribble moves. I'm still able to move and be active on court, just not ready to be a full-on contact participant right now.
Timeline for that, or there like a next stage you have to reach before you can get to be in full contact?
Yeah, I think just again continue to slowly progress, ramp up. There's been no swelling. Actually, the swelling's been going down as I've been ramping up, so that's the best possible news. But I don't think there's a timeline. It's kind of just how the body is doing as we're ramping up the work. And again, if no swelling is showing up, then we're kind of in a good place to kind of see where I'm at there and be evaluated.
Paul, you mentioned talking with Nick about your role. Last year, you played quite a bit of the 4. I'm just curious, is that something you've talked about doing with Nick? Is that something you're open to doing, comfortable doing, whatever sort of lineup combination that ends up being?
Yeah. If you asked me about this 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been a fan of it. But today's game, man, there's not, real 4s like they used to be. So, and at this point in my career, let the young guys, go out, play the wing positions. We got great defenders in KO, VJ, Quentin, so, and then, again, I know where I'm at in my career. I can adjust and play at the 4 spot, give extra, ball handling on the floor, better spacing, so I'm very comfortable playing at the 4 spot this year, with being kind of a point forward type of style in Nick's offense. So I'm comfortable with it this year. Thank you, PG. Yeah, thank you guys.